And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have our Brazilian Protoss player, the blue Protoss, representing Team Hellfire. It is MasTeR. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Brazilian Terran player, the red Terran representing Alien Esports. It is INexorable. We go. So we are setting up. We are settling in. So far, so good. And again, MasTeR and INexorable, they do often trade back and forth. I would say that MasTeR is slightly favored here over INexorable, but we have seen INexorable bring MasTeR down in the past and also take maps, take series. A lot of this comes down to the form of our players. What do I mean by that? If you've been tuning into recent Code for Giants Cups, I did mention that INexorable has been inactive for the past 2 months, for the month of March mainly, and even a little bit of February as well. INexorable, he wasn't playing in tournaments. He wasn't being as active, at least not in the Brazilian tournaments, and I was a little bit concerned. I was concerned as to where INexorable was and what was going on. We did ask him, I want to say like 2 weeks ago at this point, and he did explain that he was busy with his exams. Like, he was basically doing exams for his university, so he was basically just like focusing on his studies, focusing on cramming. And because of that, that's why INexorable was missing from tournaments for around a month of time. But now he's back. Now, you know, the exams are over and he is back in full swing, in full force. But because he was gone for some time, you know, is he back at 100%? We're here to find out. We're here to find out here. As INexorable does step back into the ring, going for an economic opener, racks into CC on the low ground, single gas opener here by INexorable. Meanwhile, MasTeR back across the map going for a standard opener himself. Gate, Cyber, Expand. So nothing crazy early on. You can see that INexorable is scouting for proxies. Does scout, does check as to what's going on. Likewise poking in. Nothing major yet here. Just making sure that everything's on the up and up, that there's no proxy, there's no crazy setup. Speaking of tech of choice, we do have it now. Twilight Council for MasTeR, not Stargate or Robo. It's going to be on INexorable to confirm. He does try to rush past, and he does get behind the mineral line. He barely will confirm the Twilight Council. Whew, okay, so far so good. The Reaper has done its job. Alas, INexorable, he's aware of the blink-based opener. Back at home, 1-1-1. Going for our 1-1-1 setup. Do have a Hellion follow-up. The Hellion should just be for scouting information. Building up his bio, getting into tank production. Again, it's going to be crucial here that INexorable gets into his tanks in time for the Blink Stalker aggression. There it is. Tech Lab is on the way. Tank production is on the horizon. So he's working towards his tanks. Question becomes, how many gateways? We have 2 more gates on the way so far. That's going to be a 3-gate blink setup here from MasTeR. It's a lot of gateways. It is a very flexible way to open up, as 3 gates allow you to be very defensive and also turn that defense into an offense. What we are looking for is whether or not MasTeR throws that, or whether he starts a Warp Prism. If he goes for a Prism, he can commit. Ooh, Adepts a shade into the main. They get a full scout. We don't get the tank production here. No tech lab on the factory. Uh-oh. Adepts, they will get a couple of SCV kills. That's 2 SCVs going down. And we're opening up instead with Ravens and with Interference Matrix. Interesting. This is a very old school way of playing. Very old school. This used to be the meta back in the day when Robo openers were more common. Back in the day when we had Robo openers, we would often see rushes into Colossus, and that's where Ravens could shut them down. Right, a couple of Interference Matrix can shut down 2 Colossus real fast and real hard, and then you can just snowball into a win and pull off these 2 base all-ins. That was very meta 2 years ago. Here, rushing into Interference Matrix makes a little bit less sense, just because there's less utility for the Raven right now. Especially against Mass Blink Stalker. Like, you're not going to disable the Stalkers individually. I guess you can disable the Prism, but even then, as Mastery does move out. He moves out. We'll see if MasTeR can find an opening. Now again, he knows that the tank count is going to be a little bit lower here for INexorable. It's going to be one tank so far. So one tank in the main, bunker at the natural. MasTeR rocks up. He does expand, does take a third base behind this. Elliot back at home is going to be deflected. Nice movement out of MasTeR. Oh my, the body blocking. Oh my god. MasTeR, calm down. Here we go. Here comes the warp in. The second tank is still in production. Again, the second tank is late. It's delayed. And the bunker, it's going to be targeted down. Boys are being pulled to repair, but it's too late. Yeah, it's too little too late. Bunker falls. Marines, they try to respond. And again, like, this Raven just isn't really helping here. Marines are going down one after the other. The tank does siege. And MasTeR, what does he lose? Nothing. He lost 2 adepts from earlier. He was able to snipe 5 Marines, the bunker, 3 SCVs. Now we have a second tank, so now we have a 2-tank setup. But MasTeR is not done. Rotating into the main. The Raven can throw down an auto turret. True. Oh. Tank volley goes off. Gets 1 Stalker. 1 Stalker goes down. INexorable so far he's holding, he's defending. Oh, blinks in. The tank doesn't cover everything. And Stalkers, they get behind the mineral line. They cover the gases, getting more CV kills. Raven trying to keep up. There's a disable, but I'm not too sure if it matters too much. Yeah, disables the prism. Boys are being pulled. Marauders are targeted down, and the disable's about to run out anyway. Yeah, disabled. Oh, god, oh! Prism goes down. And we're going to be seeing a trade instead. I mean, he will clean up all these Stalkers. Not a bad trade. Not bad. Stalkers are quite expensive. So INexorable, he does hold on. Catching out 11 Stalkers for 20 Marine 20 Marine kills. That's crazy. 20 Marines go down. And remember, behind this, MasTeR's on 3 bases. He's on 3 bases. He's already enjoying a greater economy. He's switching into +1 in charge as a follow-up. He's done with the Blink Stalkers. Right now, the purpose, the goal of these Stalkers are to slow down the push. To slow down the push, and more importantly, to scout and move out. Scan reveals the robo. Scan reveals the bay that's on the way. And INexorable, he has to make a choice. Does he 2-base all in? Does he pull the boys? So far, he has a 5-rack setup. He may just, to be honest. He may just pull the boys. But now he does zone MasTeR away. INexorable moving out. Taking 6 Marines at a time. Does have the high ground. Trying to catch out the Stalkers. I'm loving the movement here. Ideally, he wants to try to force the Stalkers to blink towards the south side. There it is. There's a blink. Stims in. Dust him in. Gets 1. Gets 1. Gets 2. Barely gets a 3rd as well. Very nice trap here from INexorable. And we pull the boys. The 2-base all-in is upon us. Stalkers, remember, they're zoned away, so MasTeR, he doesn't see this. He doesn't see this. He doesn't see the all-in. He only saw the army. It's all or nothing for INexorable. There's no macroing out of this. Not anymore. But there's still a lot of charge lots. +1 finishing up in 10 seconds. There is an anti-missile. The missile can go up, and it will. You have massive connection. Covers the army. Marines, they stim in. Tanks are sieging. Zealots, they melt, but Zealots, they come in from behind. Yeah, Zealots, they catch reinforcements. They're getting on top of the tanks. But it looks like INexorable, he barely has enough. He takes down both Immortals. Massive pickups. Immortals go down. Shield Battery is not ready. Remember, MasTeR, he didn't see the all-in. He didn't know what was coming. Didn't know how much there was, but there is now 1 Colossus. 1 Colossus does arrive. 3rd base is going to go down. Did cost us 24 SCVs, but GG gets called. MasTeR, he is broken. And INexorable, he takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG. Intense game, Pappy. Very intense. It was a very shaky start. A very shaky start for INexorable, as he was being torn apart, to be honest. Like, again, the initial opener did feel a little bit lackluster. He was losing bunkers, losing SCVs, losing Marines. The correct choice there, or one of the only options for INexorable, was to go for the all-in, was to go for the SCV pool. But what's important isn't that he did go for the all-in, it was the execution of the all-in. It was so important that, remember, he didn't pull the boys until he had already zoned away the stalkers, even caught the stalkers in the center of the map as well, until he made sure that MasTeR would not see it. Made sure he wouldn't see it coming, so because of that, the reactive shield batteries were very late. They were very late, they were very delayed from MasTeR, so they were a non-factor, and even the Raven had its own moment towards the end as well, with the anti-armor missile. So GG. GG, well played. Whew. INexorable, he does pull it off. And does take a lead as we get into game number 2. Here we go. The power of the kangaroo. Este pecoeta. Ay, ay, ay. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have our Brazilian Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Team Hellfire down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and make a series out of this. It is MasTeR. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Brazilian Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Alien Esports. Leading the series 1-0, it is INexorable. We go. INexorable, he does have that 1-0 lead. Was able to catch MasTeR off guard with his pants down with that all-in. And we'll see where our players take us this time. As we do load into a much smaller map. True, this is a smaller map. Welcome to Ultra Love. It is a smaller map in a sense and does have a shorter rush distance, but what I will say is that it is more defendable at the natural, right? There's a ramp coming into the natural. Likewise, you can knock down the tower to protect the third base as well. So there are certain features of the map that can help you survive the early game aggression and survive all-ins. Meanwhile, double gas. Okay, we do mix it up. I appreciate this out of INexorable. Remember, last game, what was the opener? Rax Expand. It was a Rax Expand opener with a scatting Reaper, scatting Hellion into 111, into Raven. Here, double gas means faster factory, and this can lead into early game Reactored Reaper Hellion. This can lead into a Cyclone drop, Tank drop. This can lead into a 111 Cloak Banshee. There are a lot of aggressive options here for INexorable. And MasTeR, he scouts. He scouts, he sees both gases, he's aware. He is aware of what's going on. And we'll see him set up for that. MasTeR does pull away. Does pull away. From the side of MasTeR, upon seeing this kind of opener, we should be seeing one of two things. Either a Robo opener, which would be hyper safe, or another Twilight Council into 3-gate blink, which likewise also a very safe way to play. Reaper dips in. Doesn't see much, as we have yet to commit our tech. Speaking of, there it is, Twilight Council for MasTeR, and the Reaper will confirm. So Twilight Council is spotted. It is going to be another blink-based opener. Last game, MasTeR, he was quite successful with his blink stalkers until he overextended and he lost 11 stalkers in the main. True, I mean, that was another reason as to why the all-in did so well. Was MasTeR, he lost everything in the main base. Or almost everything. As the Reaper goes down. And we have our initial 1-1-1. Again, as a reminder, INexorable, he delayed his command center in favor of the faster factory and faster starport. And we can see that this is leading into a mine drop. Now, I say mine drop, it looks like this is going to be a marine mine drop instead. This is going to be a little bit more dedicated here from INexorable. Adepts, they threaten the shade. But they will confirm the command center timing at least. So he knows it's not a one-base all-in. Behind this, oh Jesus. He does set up a full wall. This is designed to defend against something like a Hellion aggression. So if we had a Reactored Hellion, then this would survive and defend against that. INexorable getting across the map. I believe this goes unscattered so far. Nothing in the main. Nothing in the main base yet. MasTeR can warp in 2 units at a time. So far he has 2 stalkers at the natural. Drop into the main. Now, ideally, you don't want to spend the Widowmine shot off on the probes. That's what the Marines are for. Speaking of, Widowmine does borrow. Ideally wants to zone away those Stalkers. Oh! And we do get the unborrow, but the Widowmine is going to be targeted down. It does fall. Widowmine goes down. So far, 5 probe kills. At the same time, it Epps wreaking havoc across the map. More SCV is going to be going down. Yeah, 5 SCV kills across the map. 7 probes here as well. The Adept still wreaking havoc. And again, that should not have happened. Again, this is quite dedicated. The medevac is going to go down. Massive pick off. Yeah, MasTeR is defending. He's shutting this down. We'll lose 1 more probe. Barely another. Liberator popping off as well. At least trying to. And on the one hand, this is okay damage. This would be amazing if this was all that happened. 9 probe kills, right? 9 workers went down. That's good. The problem is that INexorable, he lost 5 SCVs. He lost 5 SCVs at the same time, so alas, he doesn't have the lead that he otherwise would have wanted. INexorable, he's down in workers. Now he's moving out. Again, there's a lot of pressure on INexorable. He has to do more damage. Can he get on top of the Robo? He can. Stalkers, they blink in. They focus on Liberator. Liberator does fall. Last does focus down the other gateway. And picks us on the gates. Stalkers, they dive in. Tank is going to be targeted down. He does snipe the Prism. But MasTeR will defend. MasTeR, he will clean this up. Cleaning up the Marines, the Vikings, the everything. Even a couple of SCVs. And again, these are rough losses here for INexorable. Oh. That was his entire army. Behind this, he does have 2 more tanks. Got his bunker on the way. It's going to be an INexorable here to just turtle up. To defend, to survive. Yo, the Vikings waddling it. Let's go. Let's go. Viking waddles in. It gets 3 probes. Not bad. 3 workers go down. Not bad at all. Likewise, the Viking harass continues. Dropping into the natural. Focusing down more workers. Getting another 2. Getting another 3. 3 more probe kills. Likewise, the INexorable, he does defend back at home. The tank is in a beautiful position. He does punish the Stalkers. And INexorable, he's bouncing back here. In total, he's killed 15 probes. 15 workers, the initial Prism, Stalkers as well. Does go for the dive. Does attempt to, but he gets punished for it. And once again, more Stalkers going down. Boys are being pulled though, and INexorable doesn't really have much to defend. And bleeding out more SCVs. Tank doing what he can. But MasTeR, he may just be able to overwhelm. Warps in the Zealots, takes down the Marauders. Boys being pulled, tank gets surrounded. And again, it's not really much of an army, but it's getting out of hand. Ay, ay, ay. And blinking on forward. Once again, GG gets called with a handful of units. It was like 3 Zealots, 1 Stalker, barely had enough. And MasTeR, he will break INexorable, tying up the series 1-1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Again, a very messy game. Very messy, very intense, very back and forth. INexorable, towards the end, he finally got the damage he was looking for, but back at home, he barely didn't have enough. He barely didn't have enough support for his tanks. They were just barely going down as well. And again, it was only a handful of units. Only a handful of Zealots, a handful of Stalkers. MasTeR takes the game. MasTeR does barely break him, and that leads us into game number 3. Up next, going to be loading into Amygdala. Let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the Brazilian Protoss. The Brazilian Protoss player himself, the Blue Protoss for Team Hellfire. It is MasTeR. Tying up the series 1-1. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Brazilian Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Alien Esports. It is INexorable. Here we go. Yes, we are settling in as we're calming down. Again, a big reason as to why the last game was so chaotic is that, if you recall, INexorable did open up double gas on Ultra Love, and that did kind of snowball into the early drop play. The Viking harassed the early tank push as well, just hyper aggression out of the Terran. It barely wasn't enough to break MasTeR, and as a result, he did suffer trying to defend back at home. He did struggle in that defense. This time, once again, double gas. I was about to say that this is a good map to open up economically and be greedy, but never mind. Double gas for a second game in a row. Now, last time this led into, again, that early Marine Widowmine drop. It doesn't have to be the same build, though. INexorable, he has options. Does have options here. As MasTeR is moving out. Does move out, the scout is denied. So INexorable, he does fully wall off. Just zoning MasTeR away. With this, INexorable going for his own 1-1 setup. Now, technically, this could be the beginning of a one-base all-in, but we should be seeing a command center after the factory. As MasTeR, he is scouting the edge of the map to make sure there is no proxy starport. Not uncommon. Just making sure he's safe and sound. Meanwhile, with the reactor on the ranks, this could be Reactor Reaper Hellion. We'll see. We'll see if we do invest into Reapers or into Marines. CC on the way on the high grounds. As there is that starport. So again, an early starport out of INexorable. Meanwhile, we have our take of choice from MasTeR. He's going for, once again, Twilight Council. Every game so far in this series, we've gone for a Twilight Council opener. Without fail. Every game it's been 3-gate blink. Despite that, it's still on INexorable to confirm what's going on. And he will. Tips into the main, gets eyes on the Twilight Council. Is where it's going to be blink. He gets one probe, not bad. He gets two. Oh my god. 2 workers go down. MasTeR as adepts are across the map. Now, INexorably should realize this. Should realize, hold up, where's your army? Where are your adepts? What's going on? As it is reactor Marine production, Widowmine, Medevac once again. Same build. Same opener here. 2 games in a row. Oh, as the Hellion is gonna barely not get caught out. These are the MVP adepts that last game killed 5 SCVs. They're back. They want more SCVs back. Yeah. They're back for more. Meanwhile, as we mentioned, here comes that medevac drop once again. Now, last game, this medevac drop killed 9 probes. It was 9 probes going down. And if you remember, we mentioned how it wasn't really worth it as much, just because at the same time, he lost 5 workers to these 2 adepts. Speaking of, they get 1 already. They got 1 probe so far, 1 SCV. 1 SCV goes down. Drop is moving in. Do have our initial gate set up here. So 2-gate blink. Drop into the natural this time. Probes are being targeted down. Widowmine will burrow. Ideally, Widowmine wants to connect it with the Stalker. Oh. Doesn't want to waste it. Yeah, doesn't want to be wasted on the probe. But it will be. Yeah, probe goes down. Does focus on the shield battery. And then INexorable gets the hell out of here. Does pull away. Oh, meanwhile, he just cannot land. He cannot land. He wants to expand, papi. Ay, ay, ay. As the tank has arrived. INexorable, he finally will expand here on the low ground. And what I will say, even though INexorable, he only gets 2 probes, he did get the shield battery and he did preserve the army. Like, this time the army is preserved. This time he's ready to go back in for another drop. Speaking of, he does spot the Stalkers. As we can see, INexorable bringing everything together. Meanwhile, the Observer does spot this. Remember, it was 3-gate blinks, so 3-gate blink Stalkers out of MasTeR into a 3rd base. So INexorable, he does move out. And again, this is the same build that we saw last time, except this time he preserved the army and everything's coming together. Last time the army was staggered, if you recall. The Vikings do land, army's moving in. The goal here is to get the tank within range of the production to start to focus it down. Here we go, now we have a second tank. First one does siege. So does the second. And so far it's all about protecting the tanks. Nice target firing, gets one of the stalkers. Oh my god, another stalker goes down. Yeah, 2 stalkers fall. Gateways are getting picked off. The artillery's pylon also exposed. And charge is not done. The slow lots are coming in. The boys are being pulled into 2 tanks. Yeah, Viking lands in time. Stalkers, they go for the time. They do focus down one of the tanks. He gets one. And he'll barely get both, but for a cost of almost every single stalker. The tank lives! No shot! And INexorable, he's done it. He has done it. The Immortal's on the way. He's going for the pylon. The Immortal does pop in. But now we have another tank. GG gets called, and INexorable, he will take a 2-1 lead. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Again, for those who are curious, this was the same build. This was the same build as game number 2. It was the same build, but this time INexorable, he was able to preserve his army. He was able to consolidate his forces. This was the same build, but this time everything coming together here as one strong push. And because the natural base is more exposed, we spoke about this at the start of Ultra Love actually. If you remember, it is more difficult to break the natural on Ultra Love because of the high ground. Remember, there's a ramp coming into the natural on Ultra Love, so it's more difficult to break that position. Here on Amygdala, it's all in the low ground. It's all in the same plane of elevation, I should say. So the natural is more accessible and more easier to assault or to be aggressive in. And we saw that he was able to get within range of the gateways, able to shut them down. This time he was able to preserve his army as well. GG. GG, well played. Much more successful execution of the build here by INexorable. And that leads us into game number 4. Oh boy. Leads us into game 4, and we'll see if INexorable can claim the win here and now, or if MasTeR can fight back. Also, of course, this time MasTeR, he wasn't getting SCV kills across the map. If you remember, the adepts were dealt with, and he did not kill workers. He got 1 SCV as opposed to the 5 previously. And here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Whispers of Gold. We have the Brazilian Protoss player. Oh. The Brazilian Protoss, the blue Protoss representing Team Hellfire down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match. It is MasTeR. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Terran player representing Alien Esports from Brazil. It is INexorable. Enex, baby, Enex. And he needs one more game to claim the series. He is so close. Now, for the last 2 games, we have seen double gas openers out of our Terran player with the same builds. So it's been double gas into Widowmine Marine drop into the tank Viking push on 2 bases. We've seen that 2 games in a row now, and once again, double gas. Now, what's important about Whispers of Gold, it has a similar feature as Amygdala. What I mean by that, no ramp. There's no ramp coming into the natural base. True. On top of that, rush distance by ground is even shorter on Whispers of Gold. This is a rush map. This is the smallest map in the current tournament map pool. The smallest map, very short rush distance by ground. It isn't just that there's no ramp coming into the natural, there's no ramp coming into the linear third base, and the triangular third does have a ramp, but it's very large, very wide, and an all-inning player can always knock down these rocks and assault from multiple angles. So it is very difficult to defend on this map. We see often a lot of successful all-ins, and this goes both ways. Whether it's the Protoss being aggressive or the Terran being aggressive, aggression is favored on this map. I don't like the idea of INexorable doing the same build 3 games in a row. I do like that he had a different execution of it last time, but here I would hope to see something different. Just because at this level of play, like, your opponent is going to be more ready for it. Remember what happened last game? Last game, MasTeR, when he was caught off guard by the push, he was expanding. He was getting a third base. He was investing into a third base. He delayed his gateways. He delayed his robo. Like, he was being quite greedy. That also adds to why INexorable was so successful. I would imagine that MasTeR is going to be safer this time. He's going to be safer. He will delay the expansion, get a safety immortal, get safety shield batteries. I'm sure the MasTeR is going to be a little more unnoticed this time. Do you see what I see? No expansion. 1-1-1. One base all in out of it. Oh my god. Now, we did mention it. This is a rush map. This map is known for aggression. It's known for all-ins, and I was expecting a 2-base all-in. We'll do one better here. 1-1-1. Now, INexorable looks like he is going to expand. He does get a delayed CC here in the main, but this CC is so late. There it is. Command Center is on the way. Again, we prioritize the starport before Command Center. This is insanely aggressive, and we're going for a Marine drop alongside a Hellion support as well. So very early push here from INexorable. Now MasTeR, he doesn't know what's happening yet. He saw the double gas, but for all he knows, it could be the same build 3 games in a row. It isn't. But MasTeR is still piecing it all together. Adepts, they do go for the shade. MasTeR, he is checking the ramp, and he sees nothing. He sees late CC, he knows. He sees the starport's already done. The starport should not be done at this point. He knows his timings. Back at home, he's walling up. He's walling up, the robo's on the way. Gateways are still in production. Here comes a drop towards the main. Aliens, they shut down the Adept. And back at home, the gateways are just now finishing up. We need those warp ins. He has 1 Stalker. He has 1 Stalker to defend. The warp gates are just now warping in. He's gonna have 3 Stalkers to defend. Army comes in. Bunker! He brought the SCV! Bunker into the... He's crazy! Bunker into the main base. Probe's gonna be going down. He gets 4 probes already. Does get 4 because I feel like the bunker's a little bit too far behind. But okay. Boys are being pulled. Marines, they kite back well. Oh, a lot of Marines are targeted. Does get 1 Stalker. And now he falls back. He falls back to the bunker. And the bunker is gonna cover the gases. It does cover the gas geysers, but again, that's just 1 hex too far behind to cover the mineral line. I feel like he could have been a little bit more assertive with this. I mean, regardless, he's getting probe kills. There we go, 3 probes going down. Oh my god, getting a 4th. At the same time, Hellies, they poke in towards that natural. Getting another probe, and another. And this is just so difficult to deal with here for MasTeR. I'll pick up Macro on the SCV. He has the repairs. Focusing on the Stalker. Gets a Stalker. Gets a Stalker as well. MasTeR is in trouble. He's in trouble. He's being torn apart. Liberator towards the natural. 7 probe kills. Mining is denied. It takes down the Zealot. And these are slow lots as well. They're slow, baby. Slow lots are moving in. Marines are trying to tank some shots. They're trying to catch the Stalker. You see MasTeR trying to kite back. As the bunker does fall. Bunker goes down. And INexorable, he pulls out. MasTeR, he does hold, he does defend. Hellion dives into the middle line. Can he get the 1 probe? He wants it. He wants the probe. Can he get it? Not quite. Yeah, barely not. And as it all settles, where exactly are we? So we have a 3 gates blink. No, okay, 3 gate blink here from MasTeR. Blink is done. He has the robo, he's taking his gases, but MasTeR, his working on is not too bad. It looks like we have been missing some SCV cycles back at home, but INexorable, he does have his own 1-1-1. Oh, that's why! 3rd CC! Okay. I was curious where the money was being spent. INexorable, he already has a 3rd command center already morphed into the orbital. Okay. I see you. So, very greedy follow-up here, and he will get away with it. He will get away with it. MasTeR, he's stuck at home, stuck being defensive. He now gets his own 3rd, but this is a late 3rd in comparison to his opponent. I should say this is a more regular 3rd base timing at a MasTeR. It is INexorable who's been greedy. It's been very greedy here, and because look at all these mules. Like, the SCV count is low, but the muling is insane. So the mule hammer has been thrown down, and again, INexorable can make 3 SCVs at a time, getting to stim. Getting into Mineric production. And INexorable, he is building up. And INexorable, he's in a better position. At this one, he is 100% in a better position here. Now, MasTeR, how do we recover? He's going straight into his splash damage. He's going into the bay, going and working towards Colossus. Now, there is going to be a window in time here. I mean, there's a couple different ways we can approach this. One, as we do see a scan, and INexorable, he confirms a 3rd base. INexorable, he can just take his own 3rd. He can just land his own 3rd and get up to proper 3-base saturation, and he can be the first to max out. 100%. Like, INexorable, he can just play out a longer game. Or, upon seeing this, INexorable, he could try to push out a little bit earlier and try to break MasTeR before he hits critical mass of Colossus. But he doesn't know. He hasn't seen the bait, he doesn't know Colossus are on the way. He saw the third base being taken. INexorable, at this point, he should just play it safe. As he's building up, Stim's already done. Doesn't know he does. Does notice the Observer. Nice snipe. Observer goes down. Now, INexorable, he is aware that his opponent knows of the third. True. Third base now being taken. And INexorable, he should apply pressure to the third base of his opponent. He's moving out. He's moving out. Now, with the help of the Colossus, MasTeR is fine. Against this first wave of aggression, I say that Liberators do complicate things. Okay. INexorable, he can pop off. His army gets spotted. Scans at a time. The Colossus just barely out of scan range. Charge loss are seen.
You forgot to build the depots again, didn't you?
He's moving in. Does move in. Liberation has arrived. He has the freedom. Tank sieging up as well. But he is out of range of the expansion. Massive tank shots going up on the main army, denying mining time. Liberators are slowly pushing forward. They slowly get. Oh Jesus, that's a bigger jump. Does get within range, has to force a reaction, does force MasTeR to push in, and Zelta going down. And from here, can he get on top of the Colossus? It's going to be close. Now there's a Saint Colossus. Saint Colossus has arrived. Tank volleys are popping up, and MasTeR holds. MasTeR, he does hold on, he does shut this down. Again, that Saint Colossus arrives just in time to defend. And on the one hand, INexorable, he doesn't kill his opponent, that is true, but what did he lose? Looking at the trades here, actually, there we go. Looking at the trades, he lost mainly his bio army. There were 2 high-tech units, 2 Liberators. 2 Liberators went down, but they traded against 5 Stalkers, against 2 Immortals, and against all those charge lots. That was a better trade for INexorable. Likewise, he still has a better economy, bearing in mind he was also killing probes and denying mining, so INexorable is still in a better position. MasTeR is still trying to recover. But what MasTeR does have is Colossus. He has 3 Colossi. With that, he's pretty safe against most bio pushes, and it's going to be on INexorable here to get into his own Viking production. Speaking of, 4 Vikings already. He's got 4 Vikings. That isn't enough. He should be building up to more. Never mind. Oh my god. INexorable moving out. Zelda might get spotted. And the Zealots are going to get caught. They're going to be cleaned up. Some nice trades here from INexorable. 4th CC is on the way. Meanwhile, MasTeR, he's gotten his 3 Colossus, now working towards Disruptors. Again, the army here is quite small for MasTeR, but it's very intense. It's very efficient. There's a lot of like power units here in the army. Meanwhile, INexorable is up to 6 Vikings. I still don't think that's quite enough. As he moves out, there's Zealot Ramai on the right-hand side. Prism as well into the main. INexorable, he does miss this, and likewise, the main base is exposed. Uh-oh. Yeah, Zealot Ramais, we've seen them win games before. They head into the main base. There is some production to defend. INexorable, for the most part, doesn't care. Yeah, he's just moving in. He's going for the kill. He will kill the expansion. There is that one Nova. Yeah, massive tank shots going up. Disruptor goes down, and he can just stim in. He can just stim and win. He stims on forward. Does he have detection? Up, up. Does he notice? It doesn't matter. GG, INexorable, he will claim the series, he will overwhelm, and INexorable will take the series 3-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew, oh my god. GG, well played. Hyper aggression out of INexorable. Remember, this was a 1-1-1 on 1 base. Remember how late the natural was, and it was a build that, I'll be honest, I've never seen before. Like, I've seen a 1-1-1 before, don't get me wrong, into the early, like, drop play, into the early aggression, What I hadn't seen though was that an SCV was in the medevac. He had picked up an SCV, he had gone for a bunker in the main base behind the mineral line. Part of me still believes that we could have thrown him down a little bit further forward, but regardless, it was very successful there. It did so much damage early on, it did set the pace of the game, and as a reminder, after the damage had settled, after the initial aggression had concluded, he already had a third CC. He had a third CC, so he had a better economy, he had a boosted economy, faster saturation at the natural, faster third base as well. He was in a better position, and that led into the eventual 3-base push, which didn't kill MasTeR, but it did cripple him. We mentioned at the time that sure, it didn't kill him, and sure, the Colossus survived, but he was able to take down all the Gateway army, he was able to take down all the Immortals as well. It was still a better trade for INexorable, just making sure that MasTeR just could not build up and could not survive. GG, well played. Again, a very intense, very aggressive upper bracket finals, and that leads us into the lower bracket. So MasTeR is still in the tournament. It is a double elimination bracket. It is double elimination. INexorable, he's going to be waiting in the grand finals. We will be focusing though instead on the lower bracket finals. Oh boy. Here we go. Since Clem's still playing well, who is the best Terran? Cure? Clem is still the best Terran. Clem is still playing very well. What do you mean? what are you talking about? So yes, Clem is still the best player in the world. Oh. I don't know what StarCraft you haven't been watching. Just catching up with the chat. I lived Amber. Damn, crazy. INX dominated the other series. What a surprise. Yeah. I mean, again, typically MasTeR is favored. I should also emphasize that as well. MasTeR, he's favored over INexorable. I think that's also why INexorable was hyper aggressive, right? Like in all of these games, actually, we didn't really get into like a longer macro game state. It was just like non-stop aggression and pushes and just INexorable just all over MasTeR in this series. GG, well played. For now, though, we're going to be going on a break. We're going to be going on a short break, and when we come back, we'll be having the lower bracket finals and the grand finals thereafter. So we'll see you guys in a couple of minutes. We'll see you guys soon for some MasTeR versus Allison in the lower bracket. See you soon.